Morning. Hello and welcome to day 7 of the morning after the Euros. Mate, that day that we dreaded for was finally here. It's happened.
Yeah.
I slept 3 times in those in those past 6 hours. What the fuck was that? England, Scotland, nobody can buy a goal. Sweden are the most boring team in the Euros, and then
Oh,
they're
yeah.
going to the next round.
Yeah.
And Patrick Schick is still on fire. I mean, apart
Yeah.
from that game, which looked decent, even in terms of the highlight of that game was the amount of substitutions and also the fouls, I'm guessing. But oh my God. Yeah. This was the day we didn't want to see, especially considering like we were surprised we had to wait until day 7 for something like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. You're
But yeah,
right.
what did you make of all these 3 games?
Well, it's been 7 days since this thing started. So it coming after 7 days tells you it's been a pretty good Euro still now.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised you didn't see more boring matches in the tournament till now. And well, today did well. Like yesterday did well in that sense. They were all three of them were uninteresting to say the least. The most hyped game of the year, England versus Scotland, the
Oh my
historic
God.
rivalry.
Well, it's
Didn't
just in
feel
that
any
part
of
of the
it.
world. In only in
Like
that
that
part of
didn't
the
feel.
world.
Yeah, it's overhyped. Like anything English is generally overhyped nowadays. Anyways, they're basically what America is to the world is Britain to Europe. So
Mhm.
yeah, they'll sell the shit out of something, and then it'll turn out whenever you stick it's in the IT crowd, right? There's a joke there's a fire extinguisher that's there, and then Moss tries to use it, and then he checks the expiry or something, and he says "Made in Britain," and then he's like, "Oh, that's right. That's basically what it was."
Yeah. Oh, wow. But yeah, I guess,
It was. What do we
yeah.
talk about in the game?
Well,
Like what?
I was reading
Yeah.
there's something with Southgate, no? Because you really need to be, really need to have a problem with him because their best player or their best, for me, their best player or the
Hmm.
best contributor for goals is not even in the squad. This guy, for the
Yeah.
last 3 years, he's not even
Hmm.
turned 22. For the last 3 years, was the first English player to have 20 goal contributions in the past 3 years after David Beckham. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, how? And then yesterday you see them, the likes of Foden and Sterling is again having an awful game along with Kane.
Yeah.
So how does he not get into the lineup? Like, what is Southgate's problem? He
Let's
is
just to
not.
clarify, you're talking about Jaden Sancho. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Jaden Sancho.
Yeah.
That was obvious. But yeah,
Yeah. No. Just wanted to. It was obvious. Like I picked up quickly, so it's not that much of a leap to make. Like who's the main guy you were surprised missing from both squads? It is obviously Jaden Sancho,
yeah. I mean,
and
everybody in Germany is surprised. Like all the TV experts, pundits, they're like, how does he not get in? And this is again like the problem. Like you were at one point in time 3 years back 2 years back promoting your talent to go abroad and have this cultural shift in their football mentality,
hmm.
and then you guys don't watch them at all, and that's why they are
Yeah.
not in the squad. So what is the
Yeah.
point? One. Secondly, yeah, it was a shocker. Like he is your goal outlet, and then I also heard that that's why he wants to come back to the UK because he will get more observed and watched. I'm like, what? Where does that come from? If you're good enough,
No, but that's true,
you
right?
should
Like
play in
it's not even
Brazil.
Jaden
And
Sancho's fault. It's not Jaden Sancho's fault. The problem is that the British have a snobbish attitude towards some of these things, and like for Jaden Sancho to establish himself as one of the best in the world, especially because he's from England. Like you need credit from the home fans first of all, right? And
yeah,
they don't
they don't
watch him,
watch.
dude. Like it's not Germany's fault either. Also, I'm not suggesting
Mm,
it's the fault of a lot of the British public and a bit of the media, like the pundits who are actually on TV. They don't really watch him that much, do they? And I don't know how up in arms they are about Sancho. Like you are clearly quite offended by that because you've actually seen him play a lot
yeah,
because he's in Germany. And like I haven't seen too much of Sancho, but I can trust enough people around, like people who are actually watching the games and who actually follow football at a much as a profession, right?
Yeah.
Who actually watch Jaden Sancho and espouse his brilliance. And everybody who in those circuits are questioning why Jaden Sancho is not even in the squad for either of these games. Like,
True.
you needed a guy to turn it around. Okay, you tried Jack Grealish, it didn't really work. When you have somebody like Jaden Sancho, who's supposed to be worth a lot of money, and who even after a terrible first half to the season turned it around in spectacular fashion.
Oh
It's not
yes,
something that you see from a 21-year-old.
he
Like,
was
even that
invisible.
factor is not being counted a lot. Like, he reminds me a bit of KD in that sense. Like, Kevin Durant has been looking for something to like, he just wants people to appreciate how good he is, and I
Yeah.
think Jaden Sancho is looking for the same. Like, you kind of get that also, right? Like, when you're that fucking good, when you're
Yeah. Yeah.
that good on the ball, when you can play do so many things on a football that almost nobody else around you can do, you just
True.
want people to recognize your talent and your brilliance and your effort. And
Mm-hmm.
like like it's not everybody who wants it, but some people do. Like, they just want to be loved, and I think that's what it is. And
Mm-hmm.
Jaden Sancho is not getting the love. So
True.
yeah, I would not be happy with this situation if I was him, obviously.
Yeah. One guy who's really happy with the situation and is seem to be kicking is Patrick Schick. He's
Yeah.
literally single-handedly firing his team to the knockout stages, which puts Croatia's ambitions and pathway in danger, because I don't see where these old war warriors.
Yeah, I was completely wrong about that take, wasn't I?
I mean, they just look tired. They look again like the shadow
Yeah,
of them
the same
former
thing
selves.
that we saw against England, right? I didn't expect that to happen this time, but it did happen. Like,
Yeah,
uh,
it
like,
needs it needs
what do they
yeah,
do?
yeah, just fresh blood, which I doubt they've like brought that along with them in terms of the youth players.
And even, is there a huge talent pool in Croatia? Like, after like, it's
Oh,
not like they've blessed with talent everywhere all the time. Like, they've
yeah,
generally had good teams though. Like, to be fair, like, even in the past, like in the 90s, also they were a good solid team
yeah.
uh, with good goal scorers and stuff like that. And Suker was there, led their line at the time.
They have
And
this once in a generation kind of talent. So I
hmm,
think again now we need to wait for some time before the up and
yeah.
coming generation is
Yeah,
there.
when you're depending on a 35-year-old who's had a super long season and a super hard grinding season at Madrid, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's
true.
not rocket science to suggest that, yeah, Luka Modric is tired, and
Yeah.
he's old. He's old, like, he's old in footballing terms.
Mm.
And well, yeah, it's Czech Republic are doing well. Quite pleased by their performances. Didn't expect this at all. Like, if you asked me at the start of the tournament what Czech Republic is going to turn up, like, I would have just seen Milan screen and I'd be like, they might be able to defend well because they at least have a defender that I know.
Yeah,
Patrick Schick I knew, but Patrick Schick's problem has been that he's not been able to consistently play at club level for the past couple of seasons. So
true.
what am I supposed to expect there? And
Mm-hmm.
he's doing a lot more than I expected him to do because I have not watched him enough.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's I don't think there's much to discuss. Let's get on
Yeah.
to with the most boring game around.
Oh my God. Group E, Sweden are topping the group with playing the most awful football I've seen in the finals of Euros or the World Cup. Okay. Good for them
Yeah,
though. 4 points,
yeah.
2 assists, 1 goal. That's the way to roll, no? Uh, I mean, as long as they do it, then they might as well like lift the trophy. But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't really have anything. Like they scored in the 77th minute and nothing happened. Like there was no aggression. There were no like there were a few yellow cards like
They
minute.
supposedly couldn't analyze the game at halftime, dude. Like, the presenters at ITV kind of gave up after a point. Like, what the hell are we supposed to tell about this game? Nothing really happened.
Yeah, because
So
in the first half there was just one yellow card. That's all. That's all. Like nothing much happened. So we don't have anything to contribute to
yeah.
this game at all. So let's just preview today's Super
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is what you want after a terrible day at the Euros, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it better
Spectacular
live up to
fixtures
the
all around.
expectations. Well, France should not steamroll, but France should like take the
That
best.
game's in Budapest, right?
Yeah, I think the
I want
best
to see
adjective I
that
could
because I want to
use.
see the reaction of that Budapest crowd to the French team. And
Mhm.
I'm scared about the racism, to be very honest.
Yeah,
It's a France team. It's obviously it's the most diverse team around, and
true.
I have low expectations from Hungary's crowds because there were some issues with the crowd in the first game also. So
Yeah, we can expect the game to be paused or even like stopped or maybe
no, not
deported.
that. That you obviously don't hope for something like that, and yeah, I expect. I don't want to expect. That's all. I'm just worried about it. Like I'm being Kyrie Irving here. I'm just throwing out the warning beforehand,
Mhm.
just in case, and then it should actually happen. Because when you're Kyrie Irving, people will listen to me. Who's going to give a fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but I think they should like pretty much take care of Hungary, not steamroll them, but take care of them like very
Yeah,
professionally.
that's the France approach. I think. Like
Yeah,
actually, if they score early enough, they might just go for it because why not? Like you're clearly much better. It doesn't mean they'll win the game. I'm not suggesting that, but if they're able to score an early goal, then on the counter that Mbappe thing is going to work. Mbappe won't be caught offside all the fucking time. He's going to score.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
something that these people don't need to get caught on the counter is the German defense. And
Yeah.
wow, even though Ronaldo's not scored against them and they've played 4 times against Germany, today I
Hmm.
think Portugal's best chance to get a result. And yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of kills me to say it. But yeah, well, that's the truth of the modern German team. Mm.
Well,
I don't know how this one is looking like. They really need to get firing. Like it's
need to figure something out. I think with the German team, like they have to figure out how to actually create chances. Like that is what their biggest problem is. Like they aren't able to provide anything. Like I thought.
Goretzka. I thought Goretzka would do it, but he's injured in the first game, and he's had a few
Hmm.
training sessions, not really
Hmm.
up to the level to like start this game. But I
Hmm.
think he was that dark horse dragging them forward. Like Gundogan in 2-2 was Goretzka. So,
Yeah.
and that's not available. And I don't know who's driving them forward. So, yeah, it doesn't look pretty. I mean, my size should say it all, but let's see. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm hoping they should get a result and then hope something against Hungary. But, well,
Hmm.
yeah. Uh, how do you preview this Portugal team? Like I said, best chance to get a result versus Germany. They've not had
Yeah.
that.
Well, they weren't impressive against Hungary, but well, I think Portugal will thrive in a game like this because their opposition will have the ball and Portugal can work on the counter as well. I
Yeah.
think Bruno Fernandes, I thought he looked, his intent was interesting. Like he was, that's the problem with sometimes with Bruno Fernandes. Like he'll try a lot of things and sometimes they just don't come off in some games, but in
Yeah.
other games they will come off. And
Mhm.
like that's just what it is. He just keeps hitting he just he's got a lot of confidence in himself, so he'll keep going for it. He will not give it up. He'll
Yeah.
keep going for a back breaking pass. He'll keep going for that super ambitious attempt, like something or the other. He'll keep trying.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like a kid. Like you're just throwing everything at the wall, and
Sure.
most likely it will stick because he's just that good.
Yeah, well, and then finally, Poland almost missed their flight
Yeah,
to get to the Spain's game. So that was a funny situation. And then the memes
yeah,
were out that, well, they couldn't even miss the
yeah.
flight.
We
Um,
find out the answer to which team is more boring today with Spain and Sweden, like because
yeah.
they combined together to play one of the most boring games of football I've ever seen.
Hmm.
And like Scotland and England gave them a good fight yesterday, but let's see if Spain was the cause of the boredom or was it Sweden. And Sweden have raised their hands up with a resounding yes in terms of yeah, we are the reason why that game was terrible, and Spain have to answer back.
Yeah. Both the teams need results. Like both the teams need results because, yeah, maybe then the final game they
Oh yeah,
can.
Spain need a win here. Like Spain have will have problems otherwise because as we are seeing what do you call it? Slovakia aren't pushovers, so
Yeah.
you don't want
Yeah.
to take that risk and take have a risk of not qualifying in the third game. Like you never know because if you
So,
don't have 4 points, then you have a problem in terms of qualifying.
mm. Well,
And
basically, I
I don't
guess
know. I'm not sure exactly how that thing will work. The group stage thing. Like,
these groups are so
let's see
well.
something.
These groups are
Hmm.
so well distributed that there are so many teams. Like now we are come to Group E today, and
Yeah.
like out of the 5 groups, like there are four third team, third position teams can finish on 4 points. So
4 points. Yeah, 4 points is
at
the
one
big
point,
margin number
something
here. Yeah.
something has to give, and then everybody cannot
Yeah.
finish on 4 points, and then
Yeah.
there's
Exactly. Yeah.
only the top four or the best performing third positions are going to make it through the next round.
Hmm.
So yeah, let's let's see what happens. Like I think also Poland need a result, because then they can pack their bags tonight if they don't get one.
Yeah. Poland will be done. If Poland lose this, I think they're done, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I know they're done.
there is
Like two
no.
losses, two losses is not a chance.
Yeah. And then you have to play Sweden also, and Sweden is not going to give you an easy game at all. Like, if nothing,
Yeah.
Sweden will go for 0-0 because that guarantees everything.
Mhm.
And yeah, Sweden's
Yeah.
way worked at least. So I don't see why anybody should discourage Sweden from playing that way,
Yeah.
because it's
True.
working. Who cares
Mhm.
about what it is? It's a group stage. Just get the results, get out of the group. Who cares?
Yeah. And then everybody says that about the knockout stage as well. Who cares? It's a knockout stage.
Yeah, well,
Just get the
it's an
result.
international tournament. It's a result based business. It's completely results based. Like, it's
Yeah.
not club football when it goes on throughout a year and you
Mhm.
want, like, fans are attending every week. It's the rhythms are completely different, right? So
Yeah.
that's what counts at the end of the day. Results counts. Like, it might have a caveat along with it that, yeah, they didn't really play that well. They kind of got lucky, like how England went to the semi-finals of the World Cup.
Yeah.
There was an element of luck involved, but that's what tournament football is. There is always an element of luck involved. So
Mhm.
yeah.
On that note, I hope we get lucky today and like watch blockbuster Super Saturday games rather than
Yeah.
falling asleep on a Friday afternoon, Friday
Yeah.
evening. Yeah, thanks for joining us, and Anshuman, see you tomorrow where we are going to
Yeah.
review these 3 games, which should be a
Yeah.
cracker. On that note, yeah, take care and see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming
Thank
by.
you. Yeah.
Ciao.